How's it going, Yankee fans? My name is Alex with both of my co-hosts here, Ryan Garcia and Nick Nielsen. Today we're going to discuss Isiah Kiner-Falefa and the epitome of failure, unfortunately, for this team right now. He is incapable of hitting with power. He is incapable of making logical base running choices. We are pissed. I am pissed. Most of the Yankee fan base is pissed unless you go to Facebook and suddenly everyone has an idea that IKF is really good.
Yeah, they think he's fucking Ty Cobb on Facebook.
I don't understand what's going on, but like there's a whole different universe of people on Facebook that think entirely different than the rest of us. And some of them have decent points. Some of them don't, but more so because they just don't know about the analytical side of things. And that's what we're here for, to give them an idea of the numbers and the analytics behind why IKF has not played that well this season. I know Ryan and Nick have a lot to say about this, but I'll start off with Nick here because I know he's excited about it, and then we'll jump into Ryan. Just tell me, guys, you guys are doing today. How are you guys feeling after yesterday's loss?
I mean, first of all, I'm on the East Coast, so I'm luckily, no, on the West Coast. Sorry, I'm in Mountain Time, so I wasn't going to bed as late as you guys were. And the game pissed me off so much that I actually ended up staying up and watching The Godfather because I couldn't go to sleep because I was so aggravated. It really is not good for my health. The Yankees once again do numbers on my health, but I'm excited to talk in this episode because the guys that we have as alternative options to IKF, this is what pisses me off more than anything about IKF. It's not like we don't have alternative options or we have bad alternative options and we're just like, damn, IKF didn't work out, so that really shot ourselves in the foot. Now we have a gaping hole there. No, the reason I'm mad is because IKF is so bad, but we have not one, but two star shortstops and a star second baseman that played shortstop and only moved over to second base because there's a star shortstop that's already there. So I'm doing a lot better today. It's been a bit of a frantic morning, but I'm very excited to film with both you guys. This is the first time we've had the trio on. This is very fun. So revolutionary stuff coming Fireside Yankees way. Ryan, how you doing?
I mean, I think you kind of got to the whole thing about like that game was just kind of infuriating, right? It feels like the Yankees are losing one-run games left and right. They're kind of shooting themselves in the foot. I think that's kind of the best way to sum up the Yankees play in the last 2 to 3 weeks, shooting yourselves in the foot, right? Whether it be walking bad hitters, bad base run decisions, or shooting yourself in the foot by putting out a shortstop who isn't the best shortstop in your organization. Now, of course, it comes down to how the Yankees view Peraza and Cabrera. If they don't feel like they're ready, I mean, they have more data available to them than we do on Peraza and Cabrera. But it is kind of hard to see IKF and imagine that there's an option worse than IKF at shortstop, right?
There is Marwin. He's behind him.
Yeah, but you know what? The way I see it is, even if you look at Marwin, right? The value he provides on the roster is kind of minimal because he isn't really fast. I believe he has a 21st percentile sprint speed. I mean, this is a guy who's as slow as like DJ LeMahieu, basically, Josh Donaldson type speed. And the defensive versatility is there, but you can make the argument that Cabrera can give you that and also give you the upside of being able to start over IKF. So it just kind of feels like the Yankees right now are in this weird spot where you see teams across the league. I mean, we just saw the Braves call up their second prospect just straight from AA in Grisham. And you kind of look at the Yankees. You even look at the Dodgers when Justin Turner went down. They called up Miguel Vargas. They've called up different rookies throughout the season. You look at the Yankees and you're like, damn, I mean, maybe this team could use that spark plug, that call up. And while it is bad, it would be like bad process to wait until now and not get that extra year of service time you can get if you just let it drag on a little bit. You're not necessarily dying to win a game in August because you have such a big lead in the division, but I do need to know, I need that sort of clarity that the Yankees are giving Oswald Peraza and Oswaldo Cabrera a fair shot by at least replacing Marwin with one of them, right? I know I'm not saying IKF's the worst player in the world. I still stand firm on the idea that post-shoulder surgery, Miguel Andujar is the single worst player I've ever seen for the New York Yankees.
He didn't have a great game yesterday either, so he's not out of the woods.
Did not, but the difference is Andujar is going down when Stanton comes back, right? Yes. We have that certainty that he's not going to be here, even when we're somewhat healthy, right? With IKF, it's like we have to trust the organization has they have either a good process with prospects and that they're going to be willing to hand the keys off to young guys. If we want to say that we're scared of playing rookies, look at IKF yesterday and tell me that that's not, rookie mistakes. It's not even acceptable for a rookie, right? If you're in college and you make that play, you're getting yelled at. If you're in high school and you make that play, you're getting yelled at. If you have the at bat he had, taking a defensive swing on the first pitch, showing bunts on 0-1 to take a second strike and putting yourself down 0-2, if you're chasing at fastballs at your head, I'm telling you from playing high school ball and seeing, how coaches react to different situations, that doesn't fly at that level. So, he's playing like a rookie right now. And so it's just hard for me to imagine Peraza and Cabrera are worse. But we'll wait and see, I guess.
And I don't know and I don't see how IKF has kind of like, if he has earned this like veteran, like chip benefit of the doubt, where it's like, okay, you've been in the league for a couple of years. We know you're struggling, I guess, in terms of the metrics, not his batting average. Okay, people that are out there that love his batting average, and he hits with runners in scoring position. It's really weird. However, you look at the hits, and I'm the type of guy that does like to reward process over results a lot of the time. And none of the hits really leave the infield unless it's like a sac fly. He finally got a sac fly a couple of days ago. I was like, I can't believe my eyes. But the thing is that he doesn't really offer like any power. He's like, we brought him over for defense and base running. And defensively, he's about as average as you can be. He's really good to balls to the side of him, terrible balls right at him. Joe Randazzo, the Yankee librarian, did a nice little breakdown on those numbers. It's pretty astonishing how bad he is at baseballs hit directly toward him. And then in the base paths, Ryan, you said it best, dude. It's like college, high school players. You make that mistake, and coach is like, you're done for the game. We've got other kids that want to play. So the thing is you can't be making those mistakes when you're brought over to be good at those types of things. And his WRC plus of 79 is only 10 points higher than Higgy's. Like, are you kidding me? This guy is not a good offensive player. He's got the same FWAR as Marwin. Like, why are we giving him 400 at bats? Like, and that's the thing. I say at bats, I mean plate appearances, but they're basically one and the same because he doesn't walk. People that say he works counts. What are you talking about? He's got like a 5% walk rate, and half the time it's only because the pitcher misses his spot so badly that IKF can't physically swing at it. Like, I don't know. As you can tell, I'm very aggravated over it. But it's because, Ryan, you said it best, dude. Oswaldo Cabrera is there. Oswald Peraza is there. Volpe wants to and should be at AAA by now. And we also have Trey Sweeney that's playing at High Valley for the Renegades, or Hudson Valley, excuse me, in High A. I mixed up the two. That he should be in AA. So if you move Volpe up to AAA, then you got Trey Sweeney at AA. And call me crazy, Roger Arias could end up in High A by the end of the season. Like, this is a chain of command thing, and IKF is not a stopgap at this point. He is plugging the hole.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is a situation where, Oswald, you could give Isiah Kiner-Falefa a toothpick for a baseball bat, he'd probably be better. Like, he doesn't have any, he has 2 barrels on the season, right? Two barrels.
That's only two. I think Nicky Lopez has more now.
0.7% barrel rate, right? He doesn't have any power, no power. So you're not going to get a big home run out of him at any given moment. That's not going to happen. More so, he's going to ground it right up to in the infield, and you're going to get a double play. You're going to have just an easy out. And look, Miguel Andujar. Here's an argument that I will present to you guys. I'd love to hear your perspectives on it. Right. So a lot of people will say Oswald Peraza is not ready to be brought up to the professional level. He needs more time. He's got to keep building that momentum. And people, then will say, you got to bring Miguel Andujar up because he's proven he's done stuff in, at the major league level. Obviously struck out 3 times last night. But then you look at Oswald Peraza, what he's been doing in AAA. He's arguably been having better success offensively than Andujar. The last 2 months, Peraza has been absolutely phenomenal. In June, the guy hit 303 with a 38% on base rate, 4 homers and 9 RBIs. In July, 300 with a 37% on base rate, 5 homers and 15 RBIs. He has 26 stolen bases this year. He's a good, like, here's the thing.
Great defender.
Right. So Derek Jeter, the reason that Derek Jeter was so good is because he made every single routine play. He did not mess up routine plays. He was a fundamentalist. He didn't have the most insane range in the world. He was just perfect. The ball came to him. It was an out every single time. IKF, you don't know that. Peraza, I think, is more of a fundamentalist. If it comes right to him, he's going to make the play. IKF, just the mistakes are starting to mount. The numbers do not justify continuing to play him. And that's why, when August 18th comes, once that date passes and service time doesn't accrue anymore for some of these young guys like Oswald Peraza, what is the harm in giving him reps? Is he really going to be that much worse offensively than Andujar, who got picked off at first base a couple weeks ago when he was filling in for Stanton? The guy is just, every time we pull him up, and it's almost like people like desperately want him to play because we just wanted to see a change in the outfield because Gallo was so bad and Hicks was so bad to start the year. It was just like, anything, please. We take anything at this point. And right now, the infield, it's not even about the offense. It's also about the defense. Peraza can offer you the defensive quality that you're looking for, but he also has been doing so well in AAA. Why not test him and see if he can, elevate his level to a professional setting and maybe put him in against a worse team in a couple weeks. If the Yankees are playing a lesser opponent, give him an opportunity against a lesser opponent. Build his confidence. Don't pull a Domingo Germán and throw him in against the freaking Astros. Don't throw him in against, the best teams in baseball and then against the Mets. Like, help your young guys grow. Don't let your young guys grow. Don't put them in spots where they're going to get demoralized and hurt their confidence, because that's not how you build these guys up, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm curious, Ryan, like, what are you thinking about this in terms of IKF's defense? Do you think Peraza would be a better solution there right now?
Well, of course we can't know for sure until Peraza's up here, right? I think, I'm going to give IKF the benefit of the doubt here of saying, you know what, outside of average doesn't like him, but defensive run saved does like him. And
he made us know that. He made that certain. He said he said outs above average doesn't matter. So that's when IKF says it, that's all I need to hear.
And, again, I don't want to make it seem like I'm so certain Peraza is going to be a better defender, but if you advertise the guy as a glove first prospect and as an MLB ready defender, I have no choice but to believe that that's, the MLB that's the Yankees evaluation of the guy. If he wasn't a great defender, what's his value as a prospect? Because this isn't a guy who, you expect to call up and hit 25, 30 home runs, 350 on base, 500 slugging, right? That's not really what you project Peraza to be. His value comes in that high. His value as a prospect is he's supposed to be a high floor prospect. He's supposed to be really good defensively, pretty good base runner, and that's supposed to make up a lot of value because as a shortstop, you're inherently a valuable player if you're a good defender and a good base runner. Even if you have an average offensive bat, you are a remarkable shortstop. You're now in the top 15 for shortstop. So he's supposed to be a high floor guy, limited ceiling. If the floor is high for Peraza, and this team isn't a superstar away, they're just a complementary piece away at shortstop from going on a crazy run, you feel like, don't you think that Peraza becomes that option? I mean, the defensive tools are supposed to be there. We know he's a phenomenal base runner. He's blistering. He steals so many bases down there. And then on top of that, there's the upside with power. Peraza's he has the 81st percentile, in zone contact rate and in whiff rate. So among AAA players, he is in the upper echelon in terms of making contact, right? Am I saying that's going to translate exactly? No, but if he makes contact at an above average level at the major league level with his raw power, he has a high pulled fly ball rate. This is a guy who generates a ton of power from a not so large frame. This could be a guy who goes out and has, a 400, 430 slugging percentage. If he gives you a 280 average and 320, 330 on base, that's ridiculous for Peraza, right? Like, I don't think people understand if the raw power even somewhat translates, the offense is going to get a lot better. Is he going to make contact as much as IKF? No, but IKF's contact, I mean, how much of it is worthwhile contact, I guess, is the question you have to ask here. And I don't think it's much, right? IKF, his OPS plus and WRC plus are hovering, in the high 70s and low 80s, right? We can't pretend like he's a good offensive or a productive offensive player. Is he the biggest problem with the Yankees right now? Not necessarily, right?
Lineup?
Not even, no, like in like, if you look at the struggles lately, I would say the pitching, hasn't been the best, right? The bullpen has been a little leaky at times.
Except for yesterday.
Yeah. Tyone, before yesterday was kind of on a really bad stretch. Germán has been up and down. You don't have Severino in there. Cole was kind of getting roughed up before last night. So yes, so those things that kind of have to correct themselves, absolutely. But it's a good process to have good players up. And if you don't want to call up Peraza because you want to give him a little more time, Cabrera's a whole year older than Peraza, and his OPS is well over 900 at the AAA level.
He's got like a 420 OBP.
Yeah, there's no genuine, I think, conclusion the Yankees, I think, are going to make that's going to lead to them thinking IKF is better. I think it really has to take like Peraza and Cabrera getting ice cold or one of them getting hurt severely for the Yankees to not call one of them up. What do they have to lose? You know what I mean?
At this point, yeah, they got nothing to lose. Like, I get not calling them up now. Like, at this point, it's so close to the deadline, to the August 18th or at 7. It's some day in the August 17th through 19th range. I think it's the 18th. Like, it doesn't make sense to call them up now because you just wait a week. Yeah. But if by that time they're not up on this roster, at least one of them, honestly, call up both of them, DFA Marwin, and move IKF to the bench or move him down to AAA. Like, IKF has 3 minor league options and he's only 26. Like, we're acting like this guy's some proven MLB player. Like, he's had 1 full season and it was at a completely different position than now. And he came up as a catcher because that was the way to get him to the big leagues the quickest. So, like, this is not some like big guy, some big prospect that we're trying to test out and see if he can pan out, or some big name that we like actively know is like someone that has a pedigree to be really good. Like, IKF is not going to be a really good baseball player. He's not just going to switch it on and hit doubles and home runs and steal 25 bags over the next month and a half. Peraza and Cabrera at least give you that shot. And that's all that matters right now. The Yankees, the reason I guess I was saying that IKF's the biggest problem with this starting everyday lineup is, like, outside of pitching. I do agree, Ryan. You're absolutely right. The pitching, the rotation has been like Cole shoving yesterday, and then Taillon finally like being able to pitch a pretty solid game was exactly what was needed. But like, in the offensive side and the defensive side of things, JD this month has finally woken up. I don't know what happened. Like, last night he struggled a bit, but he's finally woken up. DJ's been God mode. Like, you can go through the whole lineup. And then the one guy that really sticks out like a sore thumb is IKF. And it's not because it's not like he's like, going 0 for 30 like Aaron Hicks is. It's because he's consistently just doing enough to where it's like, oh, maybe he's not doing that bad. And then you look into it and he's not doing very well, like at all. Like, during his 14-game hit streak, everyone loved to talk about how he was getting on base and how he's hitting the ball. He had 1 multi-hit game during those 14-game hit streaks, during that 14-game hit streak, and it was against the Reds off of a position player. It's like this guy went 1 for 5 during that streak every game. It's just aggravating to watch, and it's like, I understand that there are bigger problems, absolutely. But at the same time, this problem has a very, very immediate solution, or at least an attempt to be a solution. If Peraza doesn't work out and you call him up after August 18th, great, just send him back down. Who cares? You at least tried it. But if you don't call him up, you're never going to know. And in the offseason, you may be looking to move Peraza for a pitcher because Taillon will be gone. Monty, you just traded away. Montas, you only know you have 1 more year left, and he's probably going to want to talk extensions if he's a smart guy. Like, there's things that you should like try to plan for. And in giving Oswaldo Cabrera, in my opinion, or Oswald Peraza a shot should be one of those things.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is the last thing I'll say before we wrap this up, because I know we're definitely destroying IKF's soul right now. But like,
you'll just block us on Twitter.
That's true. But here's the thing, right? Trying out Peraza after August 18th, there is no downside to it, right? The only downside to it is you hurt IKF's feelings, and he's a professional baseball player. He should be able to understand that. Here's the thing with Peraza: if he ends up crushing and ends up becoming a monster for us immediately, you now have your solution.
Yeah.
If he ends up playing well enough to justify, he plays well enough, you're like, okay, this guy's got it. We'll send him back down now. No service time is accrued yet. You know that maybe, okay, we have something for next year, or other teams have now seen he can do it at the major league level.
And maybe you move Glaber, and like that way you think of Volpe and Peraza as your middle infield.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what they're thinking. And that's why it's like, at least give him a test. Try him out. What more does he need to do at this point?
Yeah.
Like, we give so many pitchers a shot. We give so many guys that showed they have a little bit what it takes in the major leagues, but haven't for years a shot. And we won't give the guy that skyrocketed up our prospect rankings the last 2 years. And is Ryan, how old is he in AAA? What is he, the youngest player in AAA, or one of the youngest players in AAA?
I believe he's like one of the 7 youngest qualified players. I can double check that, but from what I remember,
we won't give him a shot? Like, come on. I don't know. I agree with both you guys. This was a really fun episode. I know we kind of laid into IKF, but we also brought up a lot of very valid points. Like, it's not so much an IKF like hatred. I guess it may have kind of turned into it a little bit.
I don't care about the guy. I don't care. Like, I don't care about.
Give
it's just about
Cabrera a shot.
Look, it's not about him as a person. It's about him as a player.
Yes,
and like,
a baseball player is not doing the job.
like anybody, if you were a freaking deli at a goddamn store and you messed up my sandwich, I'd be like, you suck at your job. I asked for mayo. You didn't put mayo.
Like,
it's
you
pretty
get like
simple.
E. coli from it. You're not going to be like,
Right,
okay, like,
get
this
your-
is somewhere I'm not going to go back to.
Exactly. It's just simple. It's simple as that. Like if you're not performing at any job in life, you're going to get criticized, whether it's from your boss or 100,000 people who watch Yankees games. So
Like, I'm not saying I'm going to attack
millions.
IKF, like physically attack him and do what people did to Joey Gallo, because that's way too far. But like at the same time, it's like, look, if you struggle and you suck, you deserve to be critiqued. That's how you get better. Like, don't just say grounding into double plays is fine. Like, what? No, it's not. Not when you have DJ and Judge coming up after you.
I think what makes the IKF situation a little more unique is that with the Joey Gallo situation, you knew his replacement was coming very soon. You felt like the job security was not nearly there. Not this isn't to say, oh, Joey Gallo, like it was, peaches and roses with Joey Gallo compared to IKF. He was just such a great ball player. Like, absolutely not. But if Joey Gallo made it through the deadline, I think we would all have this same issue of if he was still starting and made it through the deadline, we would all be almost like every single day would be like, how is he still starting? How is he still starting? How is he still starting? And it feels like we've reached that point with ICAF where it's like the dude's OPS numbers look like Joey Gallo's. We're reaching the point in which the only guys you can be compared to are Marvin Gonzalez, Joey Gallo, Kyle Higashioka offensively. They're
all backups, and then Gallo's gone.
Right. We've reached a point in which you're hitting at a backup level. So, those are my final thoughts on it. But yeah, it's just job security can't be there for him.
Yeah, no, I agree. But guys, love to hear your thoughts below in the YouTube comments as always about IKF and, all these different things and variables. I think we're kind of getting tired of it. I know other people are starting to realize it now after seeing what he did last night, the over aggressiveness. It's just not panning out. So I think it's coming around.
Only took till early August.
Yeah, so it took a while, but I think people are realizing now that, he's kind of a liability in multiple facets in the game. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Make sure to like and subscribe as always. And we'll catch you guys on the next Fireside Yankees.